Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today, Sonny and I are going to be exploring an abandoned state hospital. Really hyped to be here. Definitely a more iconic location that I'm kind of surprised I haven't gotten the chance to stop by here yet and scope it out. But, you know, we're here now. I'm just really hyped to be able to take you guys along, show you what we find, and I think it's just time to get right on into it. So I'm going to catch you inside the buildings. Okay guys, so we made it into one of the buildings, and I think what we have here is like, it's so hard to discern whether it's like housing for like the nurses or the doctors, because they did have that, but there would also be like patient housing and all those things. So I'm not sure. A lot of these rooms, as you can see, they're like very bare, but still feel fairly clean. See, they got like their little lights. Probably had like a desk here. Sink and a lot of like cabinets and things that they could store their belongings. I don't know, just off my initial hunch, it feels very like more for nurses or doctors, or I don't know, maybe it was a different section, because granted they did have like a variety of patients here, so potentially for that. And when I say like variety of patients, I mean that they had some patients who were like drug addicts, so they were going through the process of withdrawal, and so they had like a separate clinic for that. Compared to people here who were like mentally ill and needed treatment for that, or if they were like criminally insane. So it's hard to say whether maybe this was a separate building for that, maybe for very specific patients, or again for nursing. I think we'll probably maybe hopefully get a better idea the more we make our way through this place. And down the hall a bit, we came across the kitchen. So you can see it's definitely very dated. This place did shut down in the 90s, 1996 to be exact, so I'm not gonna put it past this place to have all this pink decor and, you know, these very outdated looking appliances, all these buttons and everything. Still very cool to see. They even got some old newspapers here too. It's really crazy to see how this thing's left. As you guys can see here, I zoomed in a bit on it for you, but you can see the date, 1995, which makes sense because this place shut down a little bit afterwards. I think around maybe a year later in 96. So there's your evidence for you, some really old newspaper. Okay, so I think where we are now is like more towards the main entrance of this building, or at least where it used to be, because now it's all boarded up. But you could see that once, like back before this was all vandalized, there was a bunch of glass. It got all shattered, so they usually just board everything up when a building becomes extremely accessible. And then me and Sonny, when we were walking around, we also realized that there's like a vineyard vine bag here and like some random clothes, which is like pretty good evidence that there either was someone squatting in here, someone homeless potentially, or they still are. So it's always good to be aware while you're exploring. Not to say that all these people are bad, but you know, you don't want to catch anyone off guard regardless. So we'll definitely be keeping both eyes real peeled while we're making our way around here. Okay, so we actually got another long hallway of rooms, and we're kind of seeing the same thing where we got like washroom, and then on the other side we got the kitchen that Sonny is scoping at right now. And based on this, I'm pretty sure that this is like the men's side, because this over here is the men's washroom, and on the opposite side we had the women's washroom. So let's hop into some of these rooms. So these rooms actually have a pretty similar feel. You know, they have like those little lamps, and I think the only thing different is like the color of this one. That's like blue, and like the wood is like black. But same thing, you get like, you know, your sink, a bunch of desks and like cabinets to put all your clothing and belongings in. But yeah, nothing too surprising yet. And here we got that other kitchen, and that's kind of funny. Typical like asylum, psychiatric center, state hospital colors are very like pastel, blues, pinks, so it kind of fits the theme. What I also think is funny is that the guy's side is blue and the girl's side is like pink. So it's just like a little gendered of a feel. But same thing, we got like pretty much the same appliances. You know, we got the oven, we got the General Electric stove top, we got the sink. Really, that's about it. And then we're gonna make our way up a floor and see what's going on up there. Okay guys, so we just saw that this says recreation room, and it looks like it's pointing down that way. So that's where we're gonna head So let's see what's down here. So we haven't really found anything related to recreation yet. But we did come across this elevator, you can see. You can call, but they completely bricked it up. Not really sure why. Okay guys, so we made our way upstairs because it turns out that downstairs there really wasn't anything. I'm not sure if maybe the recreation room was just empty or what the deal was. But actually I think we're just gonna scope out the rest of what's up here, see what the deal is, and we're gonna try and get in a few other buildings too, because there's definitely more to be seen on this campus and I don't want to get super hung up in here. So we're probably gonna just kind of beeline a little bit and see if there's anything cool and move on to the next one. So let's get right to it. Here's one of the women's washrooms that isn't surprisingly smashed up. Usually a lot of them, all the toilets are completely trash, but this is one of the few ones that actually has a solid toilet that actually looks decently clean, which is just really funny to me. Okay guys, so me and Sonny actually decided we're gonna leave this building right now. There was a kid, or a few kids actually showed up in a truck, and they're like, you know, yelling, screaming, throwing rocks and everything, honking their horn, so they're drawing a lot of attention to us, and my goal is never to get caught. So with that being said, we're gonna probably try and building hop somewhere a little away from here to kind of let them draw their attention wherever they want. We can kind of scooch out and see something else. So we're gonna go do that, and wish us luck. Okay guys, so we were able to make it to one of the other buildings, and as you can tell it is like related to patient housing. We got some, you know, bed frames left here. Someone thought it'd be cool to like move it into the hallway, I don't even know, but yeah, it's just super cool to see these things left and know how they were, you know, used back, you know, back in the day, in the 90s, for patients here. And I don't know, it's just like a weird connection to them in a way to see this. So definitely really cool. Actually, right around the corner we got another bed. You can just see, it's crazy how rusted all of the metal is. It really just shows all the wear and tear, because you can tell there's like a lot of leakage, water damage. These places have really taken so much of the elements over these years since they've been abandoned. We got the cult room really right here. Looks very nice. Very welcoming. I'm getting drizzled on with water. Bando water is probably the grossest water out there. So definitely gonna need a shower after this. And got the Show No Mercy. And I've seen 666 before, but never 999, unless someone just did it upside down. So this is kind of us making our way towards one of the ends of the buildings, and they have these really actually quite stunning windows and these colored curtains. And there's just something really cool about this that I really like. And a lot of times asylums or like state hospitals have this kind of design, so they'd have an area maybe they could, like, you know, people were in wheelchairs, they could wheel out some of the patients to get some sunlight. And then just down the hall here, Sonny's down there right now, each one of these rooms would be a patient room. You'd have like a little glass window space to see out from their rooms, and then their window for the outdoors, but that's about it. It's just a very weird feeling in here, you know, walking in and knowing what these spaces once were. And it's a little hard sometimes to imagine, but it's definitely the feeling is still that kind of haunting feeling of knowing that they were so isolated from the rest of the world. And of course, per each floor, we got the bathtub. Not sure if like the nurses need to assist all the patients who are here. Again, it's hard a little bit to figure out who lived where. I feel like this feels more like traditional asylum for like mentally ill patients, things like that, as opposed to the other building we were in. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was more for those types of patients. And this is where they would bathe. And again, it's very like an intimate type of feeling standing here knowing that, at least 20 years ago, even more further back, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, people were just sitting here and, you know, feeling really, again, isolated, really very sad, misunderstood. They were struggling. That's just awful to think about. I just walked down a little bit further down this hall because I just want to show you exactly how badly decayed some of this area really is. Like, you just look at the stairwell, absolutely gone. And like, you know, all this endless amount of rubble everywhere. It's really wild when you think about how that really, it's only been about 20 years, give or take, just a little bit more, since this place has been abandoned, and what's become of it. Okay guys, so we just made our way upstairs. A lot of the rooms up here are gonna be very similar to downstairs, where we have like patient rooms and like some of those bigger rooms, like the windows where there kind of was like a lot of like sunlight that could come in. But one of the main differences here that I like better is that a lot of the original patient beds are still left inside of the rooms. And it's a little bit easier to imagine what this place was once like and what those patients were experiencing when they, you know, walked back into their rooms. So I'm gonna take you through here, show you some of the highlights, and see what's going on. So here is that kind of like similar room to downstairs, that like sunroom where there was a lot of kind of like windows where a lot of natural light could come in. And we also got this patient bed, but what I think is more crazy about it is that they have like an original pillow from one of the patients who stayed here. Then there's like, you know, some rusty furniture lingering around, probably all this water damage and leakage here, as you guys can see from all that growth, is not doing them any favors. Just to give you guys a little bit of a closer look, you probably can even hear the birds outside right now. They're going wild. Here's that patient bed and that pillow, and it just, you can see it's just been so beat up. Definitely seen better days, but again, very crazy to even see that left and know what this was used for. Now here are some of those original patient beds still left in the rooms. And again, like I said, it is just so eerie standing here knowing that this is exactly how it was, you know, for them over 2 decades, 3 decades ago. That this was, you know, their bed, their like one like thing of comfort, that they had like belongings tucked up right in there, that this was their space, you know, this was like their one place for themselves here. It's just, I don't know if I'll ever get over that weird feeling that you get standing here. And right next door here we have another one. And again, we can see that like very beat up, covered in probably asbestos, very likely. And not much else left originally. I think this was the curtain or something. I'm not really sure where that came from, but you know, a lot of stuff changes over time, and I can only imagine what the people who used to work here, the patients, if they could come back in here and have a look, you know, for those who still are alive, how they would imagine this place, you know, if they had memories of what this place used to look like when it was intact, you know, before the paint was peeling everywhere. Like I said, this was kind of like their one little space of sanctuary that they, you know, got to have their privacy. And this was it. This was all for them. And this is something I actually like to talk about in a bit of greater depth, because it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about exploring asylums, psychiatric centers, and kind of like talking about it so openly, what these patients experience. Because one, it's honoring them and making sure that, you know, the way that they were treated is known, that we don't sweep that under the rug. Because I think there's a lot of shame in the states that these locations are in. They want to just demolish and forget about this, all these awful things that happened. And it's really important that we don't. We need to honor that and acknowledge our history and recognize that change happened and continues to need to happen. And this is a prime example of that, how these people suffered. And so I feel very passionate about talking about how patient mistreatment was very common, the attitudes of people towards people who are mentally or physically handicapped or mentally ill, that, you know, eugenics played a big part in that, that we were not, people with mental illness and those people, they were not considered desirable, that they didn't want more of those people in society. And so the idea was separate them, institutionalize them, and they'll eventually just go away. And it's great to see that we've gone so far in like changing accessibility and recognizing that these people are people in our society, but we also know that so much more needs to be done. And I just feel like this is one part of it, is like coming here and seeing these places and reminding us ourselves that this is a really big part of our past, and one that really didn't happen that long ago, in the 90s. This was a thing in the 90s, you know? So yeah, I just feel like I wanted to talk about that a little bit because I don't always highlight it in as much depth in some of my videos, and I think it's really important that we talk about it. So yeah, either way, let's just keep walking around here, show you guys some more rooms. And here's one of those last patient rooms on this side. But I'm actually gonna hop over into the neighboring room and do a really quick kind of like spirit box session with Sonny and see if we can get anything paranormal related, and then I think we're gonna make our way on out of here because it's getting dark. Okay guys, so Sonny's gonna kind of take the lead on a little bit of like a paranormal, I forget what it's called, voice box, spirit box.
Spirit box session.
Yeah.
In this patient room.
Yep.
With the original dresser that they probably had their clothes in and they used every single day. You know, now it's just sitting here in this abandoned building, so I feel like this is a good spot. I'm gonna use this as my trigger object. This is my spirit communication device, or spirit box. It's a transistor radio. I manually scan through the stations and spirits can talk over the white noise. We have a Mel meter set up right here. This detects electromagnetic fields that ghosts are made of. So if you see this number spike up, and spike means go up, that means there could be a spirit present in the area since this place has no power. So,
and we do, and just to clarify guys too, with the spirit box, it's also important to note that our camera gear is fairly far away from it and our phones are far away from it too, so those could be the only potential like trigger things that we brought in with us, and there shouldn't be anything else like electrical related in here.
As long as we're far away from this, like right now it's baseline 0.0. So our cameras and stuff being in here right now isn't affecting it, or this would be going off right now.
Exactly.
So if this starts going off randomly, we know it's not from our cameras, and it could be something unexplained making this number go up on this. We're going to start doing the spirit box session right now. I made an introduction, talk to the spirits, and we've actually been in here for like 45 minutes, walking around, exploring. Just heard that behind me. Let's see if these spirits want to communicate with us. Radio's on. Come into your room. Don't have to be scared of us. Do you like this in here?
That was weird. It sounded like a horn. Like a car horn.
It scared me. I was asking if they like this in here. Do you not like this in your room? Do you want us to just get out of here and leave you alone?
It's another weird noise.
Tell me your name. Seems like you don't like this. Can you physically get us out of here? Or you're not strong enough? How many spirits are in this room, or in this building? Why are you still here? If you're a patient and you died here, or you're unrested here, can you just come over to us and talk to us and tell us your name? We want to help you get out of here. I feel like charged up, like I'm like pissed. Are you mad at us? Are you making me feel like how you feel right now? You're trying to get us out of here? I feel really weird. Tell us your name. Tell us why you're in this building. Why did you come to this hospital?
I don't know what that said.
I couldn't hear what it said. Something about me.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, that was really clear.
That was clear as hell.
That was really clear.
Okay, we want to talk to you. Hello. We want to help you get out of here. I'm getting full chills on my legs right now. We want to make you leave this building so you can get free. We know what happened to you. We know the history of torture and neglect that happened here, and we're sorry. And we come here with respect for you. But if you talk to us, we can help you get out of here.
Did you struggle here? Was this a scary place? That was very low.
Yeah, come closer so if you can hear responses. Did you struggle in here? Were you scared to come here or wake up in your room every day? Were you scared?
I don't know what that said, but that was really...
That was weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Do they have you locked away here? Did you want to leave and go home?
Did you feel isolated or lonely?
You don't have to be lonely anymore. We want to help you. We feel for you.
Okay guys, I think we're gonna head right on out of here. We're gonna kind of cut that short with the spirit box session that we just conducted. Definitely crazy vibes in here. Very eerie feel, and I don't really know what to make of this place, but I think it's super fascinating. I loved exploring it. I can't deny that there's definitely some sort of paranormal feeling here as well, and I can't imagine that there aren't at least a few spirits here that are in unrest because of everything that happened to them. But anyways, like I said, we're gonna make our way home. Try to avoid the cops in the process, because we did have some issues here last time where a cop did drive by, so wish us luck with that. And of course, like always, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe if you did enjoy this video, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Peace.
And I'll catch you in the next one.
Peace.